Hey friends, I've been wanting to do this video, this Q&A for a long time now, but I just had a free evening, so I thought I would do it now. So I've been getting a lot of questions about travel, about the cost of things, about visa questions. So I'm just going to go through the most common questions, and if there's anything else, feel free to leave a comment. So let's dive right into it. Starting with the most common question that I get. So the most common question I get asked is about loneliness or if I get lonely. Truthfully, the answer today and throughout since I've been traveling, so this is my 4th month going on to my 5th month of traveling alone, and no, I truly do not get lonely now. The first time that I left the country in 2015, I did feel lonely. The first 3 months were really hard, I remember that, and it actually forced me into some great daily rituals. So I started off with gratitude. I wrote down and journaled like 3 things I was grateful for every day. I started my day off with listening to different Audible books or podcasts that were like mindset related or personal development related, and that helped so much. Like, that's been the biggest difference, especially, coming into this journey, is anytime that I feel like I'm struggling mindset wise, I put on an Audible book and I make sure that I listen to that for 10 minutes every day, because it just like is a nice reminder to kind of like get outside your head, because usually loneliness is just like you're in your thoughts so much, like you're thinking about either the past or the future, like possibilities of things going wrong or what you're lacking once again. So that helps me a ton. So if you do have plans to travel by yourself, keep that kind of in your back pocket. Okay, moving on. Oh, one other point on loneliness. If you're the type of girl that you can't go to the bathroom by yourself, or you would never like eat alone by yourself in your hometown, or you would never go out and do something by yourself because like you don't like looking like you're alone or whatever, I would challenge you to start where you're at in your hometown. Explore your own hometown by yourself. Get used to eating meals by yourself sometimes. Build up that independence now. Maybe travel from state to state, building the independence of like having to travel by yourself and relying on yourself before you try to like do that in another country. Definitely. I had a question about like if meeting people is easy. Meeting people is actually easier outside the country because normally everyone is also wanting to meet other people. Whereas back in my hometown, I felt like people were more so already in their friend groups and had their sort of like cliques, and it was kind of harder to make friends back home. But like Bali, for instance, I made so many great friends, and I've made so many friends in Malaysia now, and it's definitely easier to make friends once you're outside of the country. So that maybe will surprise some of you. Someone said, from your post, it seems like most people there speak English. Any language issues? So yes, most people do speak English. They're taught, whatever their language is, plus English is usually their second language. I really haven't had any language issues. I'm actually shocked. People have just been really accommodating and amazing. Language really hasn't been an issue. I wish I could speak other languages and be more accommodating to these beautiful people, but yeah, it's not an issue if you can't speak the language here. Okay, someone asked about internet. Is it possible to get fast internet? Any issues with it going out, possibly with bad weather? So everywhere I've been so far, the internet has been okay. Obviously I have to run my online business, so that was a big thing for me too. Okay, so I've been booking Airbnbs, which I would highly recommend. You get so much more for your money doing it through Airbnb than like booking.com or hotels.com, I think is another one. You really do get so much more, so highly recommend that. I'll link down below my Airbnb link, so you get $40 travel credit if you book through that link, if it's your first time using Airbnb. So that's really amazing. And so typically what I do is I try to book as far in advance as I can, because that's when you'll get really like the best villas or the best accommodations, whatever. You can, like, I have booked the night before or like traveling to, so there is a setting on Airbnb that's an instant book. So literally people have their places already set up so that if you want to book it, usually there's just like an access code that you type in and like you're entered into their building or whatever. Anyway, I normally book a month or 2 months in advance depending on where I'm going, And before I book, I do make sure that their internet is good. So you can ask them to send like the network analyzer, so they'll be able to tell you like what the speed is, and you can Google like what a good speed is, because I can't tell you off the top of my head right now. Like I know it, but I'll forget. Even if where you're staying, if the Wi-Fi is kind of spotty, there's cafes usually all around you that have great Wi-Fi as well. So the only time I've ever had an issue was when I was on Gili T island, and that was understandable. Like I knew that I probably wouldn't have the best Wi-Fi connection on this like remote island. Plus it was Ramadan. So yeah, the power actually did go out for a few hours one day when I was there, but I was smart about it and I knew not to like schedule any work calls or anything that I would need Wi-Fi for, so I only stayed like a Friday night and Saturday night for that purpose. But yeah, I haven't had any issues with Wi-Fi. You can also buy like a little pocket Wi-Fi that I don't even know what you call it. It's like this pocket Wi-Fi hotspot. Like if you definitely need Wi-Fi and are really worried about it, just Google like getting one of those like hotspot things. Pretty much everything that you have a question on, I have Googled at some point, and that's how I found the answer. Navigation and transportation. Most everywhere has either Uber or they have Grab, which is just like Uber. Bali was really cool because they have Grab and Uber, but they have a scooter option as well. So they do have a car option, but the scooter option is like so cheap. It's like less than $1 to get places depending on where you're going. So it depends how long you're staying in Bali, but it might not even be worth it for you to rent a scooter. It might just make more sense for you to use Uber or Grab to get places. It's very cheap. Okay, someone asked a question about fixing meals. Is it similar to the States, or is there something that surprised you? So obviously the food options are more limited in Asia, but I wouldn't say anything was really too surprising. I honestly don't enjoy eating out that often. Like I would prefer to go to the markets, get food, and cook it myself. That's one great thing also about Airbnb, is that you can pre-select or filter out if you need a kitchen, or like you can make sure it has like a microwave or an oven if you want one, or a stove, whatever you need. That's just all something that you might check into as far as the place that you're booking, but I wouldn't say anything surprised me. So another popular question I get asked is about visas. So Australia was the biggest cost as far as visa and as far as doing that ahead of time. So you just go online and you would Google like visa Australia, whatever, and you fill out this quick application, and usually it takes about a week for them to approve you for that visitor's visa, and you have to pay $140, I believe is what it was, and that's good for 3 months. So it depends what country you're going into. A lot of these countries in Asia, you don't need a visa. So the US is on their list of countries that they don't require you pay the visa on arrival, because they get so much money, I think, out of the tourists coming, so they don't charge you to enter in the country. But if you have any questions about visas, it's very easy to just Google visa Thailand, visa Malaysia, like whatever. So most places I was doing that like a week before. Oh, let's just talk about the overall cost of my stays, I guess. So in Bali, I was finding places for usually $18 a night, and they were like nice Airbnbs. Like I either had my own private room or my own private like studio apartment type ordeal, or it was like a share villa. But you can find places between $18 and $25 a night that are really good. One thing I feel like I have to explain often to people, like new people that I meet, is that I'm not really traveling country to country. I'm more so living in each country and working. So it's not like my days are just like willy-nilly party left and right. I'm not doing touristy things every day. I'm being more conservative with my money every day. I'm picking like the highlights of things that I want to do at each place, so I'm not, overspending and I still have to work pretty much 5 a.m. till, depends, sometimes it's till noon, sometimes it's till 3 p.m. Sometimes I just decide to work all day and maybe I won't work as much the next day. But yeah, I'm not just gallivanting around the country. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little Q&A. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and until next time, I promise to stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.